Hello, this is FG back with you for Anbennar, picking up with our Luna River Miner Pashaine campaign. Last episode was definitely a bit of a whopper with it being, over 3 hours long, but I just wanted to get through the initial startup and into the actual Pashaine gameplay. I went ahead and threw all of my states into the various Coronite Holy Orders. Most of them are the Aronite Communalists, except for this state, which had kind of mediocre trade goods. Grain, salt, livestock, just not particularly amazing. So I went ahead and put that down. So we should be making. All right. As we have slowly united and asserted ourselves on the Imperial stage, one name has tipped off the lips of our countrymen. Pashaine, like Asmeria or Demeria, it reflects our cultural identity and a distinct way of life that has developed here. It is simpler and more unifying than the endless clarifications about the porous nature of the valley's borders, and it encompasses our many contradictions in a single word. Yet some argue among the cities that the name is ill-found. The bedrock of Luna culture is not some vague gesture to a traditional recipe or two, but the choice we made to base our society on the reasoned disputation of many sovereign equals. What is special and unique about our realm, they argue, is not its nature, but its form, the path we have taken rather than where we have started. A significant minority of the intelligentsia thus argue that we should identify with the confederation that made us great and dismiss the mere ethnic identifiers. We are one people. We are Pashaine. I don't know if that has any sort of effect on anything. I guess we'll see later. Of course, we get this lovely lilac color, as we are the, lilac statesman. Yeah, we can fire her. Alright. So, can now take... let's do frequent elections. Okay, so Land of the Free. Okay. Has a 25, is either allied or has an opinion above 125. Free relations here. Okay, where are the other free cities? Okay, we have the single free city here. How old is this guy? 49. We'll keep him. Okay, these guys need to continue drilling. We obviously have flipped all of the proper provinces over to Pashaine culture, which is excellent. Now we can summon the diet. Yeah, we'll convert Belcare. That'll get done eventually. Adventurer's loyalty needs to be 60 or greater. Okay, that will go up naturally. Alright. Oh yeah, we need to build more muskets and develop. That's good. Let me see the development. Manpower value. It's not really what I'm looking for. Alright. How many more barracks do we need? 3 more. Okay, we can do that. Barracks. 1, 2, 3. Alright, good. We can do her. Doesn't make any sense. That will take her. We call... Alright. Dundrak and Busovar can be our rivals. Looking pretty good in terms of development. Look at our beautiful army. Guys can protect trade and Anbennar. Who is upset with us? Lex. What's wrong, Lex? You know, I can get rid of... You know, if they break the alliance, so what? Call... Who are the other... Tell them. Alright, whatever. You get some of these loans paid off. Right. I think it probably is time at some point to build a flagship. Okay, who do I not need an alliance with? I do like those two. Can't ally with Laurent. Skill 3 Inquisitor for 50% off. Of course, we will take that. Alright. Send gift. Alright, let's save up about 600, 400, I think about 450 should hopefully be enough. We do luckily are able to absorb trade from there. Alright, so... What am I looking for? This. Yes, sorry. Let's do trade. Alright, a virtuous nation. The principle of Pashaine political thought is that the body politic constrains the individual. The individual flame of brilliance at the heart of the statesman is braced all around in iron, the foibles of the one counterbalanced. First, by the needs and the will of the body they represent, and the second, by the resistance of the bodies which they jostle to influence state actions. By such means, the state itself is rendered one great body, possessed of a principle, personality, and virtue independent of its individual constituents. The leader need not be saintly. Indeed, he is often called to duty to be the opposite, for he is inevitably bound by the nature of the state, restrained by bureaucracy inculated from birth to defend that nature. How many in the history of Canor have comforted themselves with the inevitability of imperfection? All in their position must compromise. All must give way and corrupt themselves eventually. Such thinking has allowed the conniving and the weak to slip in amongst the works of government, to undermine the good functioning of the state. Put simply, the virtuous must aim for virtue. We who seek A new kind of society must resist the urge to indulge ourselves in our mistakes. This experiment, this Pashaine, is far too important. Recognizing the executive holding a position of power must be left free to do what must be done. We recognize that they require restraint. Thus, the virtues of our philosophy become the virtues of our state, informed by the myriad influences on our noble realm. Alright. So, Rebellion Society. Yeah, we'll probably be flipping to rebellions eventually. Feels the most thematic. They're gonna need more money than that, I suspect. Alright, you can get them in. Maybe I will drop the Necklith Alliance. Saves us a little bit of money. This would also be an alliance. That would save us a lot of money. Alright, so send gift. Send gift. Alright. Send gift. It's 25, 25. Alright, who else is there? Okay. How long are these elections? 3 years. Alright, do that. Keep him. Alright, that should be Thorn Formation. Yep. Endlebury. Okay. Alright. We rightly ridicule those who imagine Pashaine governance as some village mob, for they pose the tyranny of the crowd Though it were some novel insight we had yet to consider, representation, the will of the people, is not a matter of individuals but collectives, corporations, or subsets of society, each stressing against the other in continuous balance. We are familiar with this in the context of economic guilds, yet the principle extends to separate religious confessions, to political tendencies, and even to mages. If Pashaine had innovated upon these ancient ideas, it is only to recognize the same corporate governance which has made the cities of the Luna so economically powerful may be scaled up to the realm as a whole. This is the basic principle of the cabinet, which, under monarchies and republics alike, functions as a collective embodiment of the government, an executive guild. Alright. Decisiveness is an end unto itself. The fastest way to elicit a group's favorite theater is to simply suggest that you may suggest the one you know they despise. This is a principle which the statesman soon learns is terrifyingly applicable to governance. One does not simply analyze a situation, form a position. One forms a position, and the situation develops in response ad infinitum. Alright. Yeah, you do that. You want to transfer trade power to me. Right. Okay, well, you know what? Let's go back. I've been wasting a lot of Diplo points, so let's go back this way. Try and work on this a little bit more thoughtfully. Alright. And we will do this. Yes, virtues of governance. Okay, so what we want to do is improve relations here, improve relations here, improve relations here, improve relations there, improve relations there. Alright, we'll do this, this. Excellent. Rebellion Society, yep, welcome them in. Okay, so we only have 8 free cities to deal with. Foreign plots. Wyvern worth its weight. Can do that. And we can put this. One formation. Alright. Keep him. Also do this just so we don't have elections quite so quickly. Need to improve with mag value. Excellent. Recall. No, nope, wrong one. Improve relations here. Okay. Call. Okay. Anbennar cost. I will need to ally them. Not dishonor, but dissolve that alliance. Okay, so we can call them together. We can do that eventually. Okay, so it has to be either allied. So we need to ally them. Ally them. To ally them. For everyone else, we need to ally them as well. Call. We will not need to ally them. Okay, so start with the big boy. Economy action. Send gift. 250. Excellent. Send gift. Them. Send gift. There. Send gift. There. Alright. Oh, Indlebury. Clients there. Clients there. Send a gift. Alright. No trait is more fearsome in a leader than generosity. Okay, so what we want to do now is we want to go and... Okay, where is this? Dissolve alliance. Retaliator. Alright. Only armed men may truly withdraw their consent to governance. Alright. So I need a few more barracks. That's almost good. We can improve relations here. Two more barracks is good. We can do halt the high seas. I'll do that. Okay, we gotta take tech next. Alright. Okay, so I need some elector support. Who am I allied to? Okay. Need to get rid of that alliance. For relations here. It's finally time to dissolve that alliance. Alright. Oh shit, I probably should have done something about that. Alright. That. Transferring there. Let's transfer here. Alright, that's an extra ducat we're getting. So, James Crown, we want an alliance with them. Who are the other most powerful electors? We can do Moonhaven. Then we can take that, 3 points. Okay, so they need to be insulted. Relieve the marshal. The weakness of the autocratic states of Canor is that one only need to humiliate the person that sits atop the pile to humble the entire lot. Haze the bourgeoisie envoys of Pashaine all you like. We will replace them in a week, and they hardly represent the whole. Your princes, on the other hand. The cannons rang out over Istralor, thundering out a merchant's rhythm. Pashaine had chose a mocking sequence, marking the hours in a merry way, the way the market bells did. All the better to remind the people of Istralor that their government had been mocked by the petty shopkeepers of the Luna. Mere practice maneuvers, so went the official lot. And of course, The baldness of the lie itself was a mockery. The lesson? That pity and sympathy mean little in the wake of abject weakness. It did not matter in the weeks that followed that Istralor was considered entirely on the correct side of things. No envoy in the Diet, not even in Pashaine's silver tongues, would deny over a private drink that this was a deliberate provocation. But such points of etiquette matter little when the greater truth is being spelled out. Istralor's traditional chokehold on the position of marshal has been thoroughly shown up, so they get 15 years of basically being a laughingstock. We can keep him. Alright, who all converted over? Good portion of the Empire. Mostly the big nations, though. Services will be useful. Yeah, we don't have one to do that. Actually... I think that was a net positive. Okay, so we need elector support. BPEC could be decent. Call for relations. We can buy network. That also I can do administrative divisions. Fix that. Alright, securing the basin. Fret not, my dear man. If your constituents are accosting you on the street, they can't be glowering miserably in the tavern. See their complaint for the promising thing it is, for a man does not complain to a leader from whom he holds no hope of relief. Let the new folk grouse and jockey for position among the cities of Pashaine. Truly, it is the most Pashaine thing you can do. Alright, declaw the wyvern. We will do that later. Having a Pashaine virtue. Okay. East Bright. I need to build a mage tower here. So that needs to get developed a little bit. And I can take this now. Pretty good. Impose a new tariff. Excellent. Doing great. Beauty celebration. Very well. Alright, who is the discounted level 3? Right here. Okay, Knight of the Fire is nigh. Okay, fabricate a claim on a worm. Recall. Right. Okay. I can proclaim a guarantee on them, that's funny. Guarantee them as well. Who else am I allied with? Moonhaven. Yes. Call. Okay, I cannot call them in yet. Nor can I call them in either. So I will curry favors with both them. And I build a few more buildings. Call some of those. Also, we are so powerful right now. And we will get even richer. Has this modifier already gone away? Yes, it has. Lead them to their business. You guys can continue drilling. Also, what war are Dame's Crown in? Only have 10% combat effectiveness. Alright, I'm going to pause this recording real quick and come back later. We are an elector and have 3 fellow electors. Yeah, we can definitely do that. Recall, no more loans. Send a gift. Make sure we have our, how much do I need to send them? Okay, 50. And then that. Then we can also call. Alright. Prepare legislation. I have often remarked that the position of an emperor is much inferior to that of his secretary. The emperor must answer for all injustices, must attempt to levy some form of agenda, must suffer perennial scrutiny, and must do so in his own name. If he attempts to control what the Diet sees, he is a tyrant, while his petty officials and the men of precedence routinely extract enormous bribes from the movement of an article on a list. Istralor, Moonhaven, and Wex. Alright, we can do another one of those. Then we can declare war on Wex. Not Wex. On Vern. We can call Gawed into this? That's a little bit interesting. I definitely do not need Gawed. And Gawed has no death. That is actual madness. Okay, hypothetically, if I wanted to take Vern, I can do that. Okay, we need to develop. Anbennar, I actually will take Chancellor of the Empire. Whose legacy is greater, the hero or the statesman? This is the principal question posed by centuries of thought along the Luna River. Among the marginal Pashaine, who formed assembled bodies of aldermen and technocrats and produced very few legends. In other lands, the people dream of a rider at the head of a column, one who charges forth. In Pashaine, we revere a clever seneschal. He leaves his mark not in stories but in legislation. He may speak eloquently but rarely stirringly, and yet we must ask ourselves this: whose rules do we follow many centuries hence, when we wake and go to the market and we must pay a penny on our daily wages? The hero wins a half hour of your attention at the tavern at the most. The statesman reaches into your purse every single day of your life. This is the principle of our new Imperial chancellorship. The tedious and the foolish question why we would forego the opportunity to claim the empire for ourselves. They do not recognize that we already have. Let foppish aristocrats sprawl their legs across the throne itself, while we rebuild the palace around them. The first of our chancellor rises to her feet. The ceremony is not terribly well attended. It takes place in a wing of the Imperial Palace, more generally used for housing guests. No matter. The Empire will soon come to know the import of this moment. Alright. We can... Alright, that's pretty good. How old is he? 60? He can rule until he dies. Alright. So, from them, we will take transfer trade power, cash, war reps, march back, and then we will take... Well, we can just take all of Vern, why not? Yeah, we can do this. And then we can do Chancellor's Word. Our control of the Imperial Chancellorship gives us unparalleled access to the institutions of Imperial bureaucracy. We can deploy this influence and reputation to achieve a number of things: friendly faces in the Diet, subsidies for those who might otherwise oppose us, favorable legal judgments, and so on. In so doing, we smooth our uninterrupted course to power. So that takes most nations from coalition to no coalition. Alright. The elemental sins of Demarian Vern mix in the Luna. The river's flow is firewater, neither the complacent placidity of the mountain lake nor the impetuous wildfire of the lowland forest troubling the Pashaine mind, which achieves in all things the virtue of the mean. Little wonder, then, that the Pashaine child should look with such scorn upon her Vernman father. Not so long ago, the Wyvern gazed over our southern territories, the parts of the Luna watershed that were once part of the old Vernman kingdom, and presumed to play the jovial older brothers. In times, they even claimed such lands outright, as if Menabor and Napesbay were ill-behaved younger siblings who needed to come back into the fold, sometimes even as Bellicare were a mere cousin. No longer. Pashaine dominates the Luna and lands afar alike, and now we are in the position of dispensing with the Vern as we wish. Yet there are true ties here, the boisterous bonds of kin which sing to the blood of our Vernman veins. Who are the Vernman to us? Kin or mere neighbors? They are the red in our purple, but what should that mean? Are we... We are their sons and successors. So we can culture convert the Vernman over. Alright, that's good. Let's now start drilling again. And do one of those, why not? League of the Free Cities of Pashaine is our actual name. It's quite interesting. Probably could have gotten quite a bit less aggressive expansion had I actually fabricated claims on Wyvern Mark. But, so be it. Right, what do we need to do next? Spy network here. East Sprite. 30 development. Don't want that. It's actually produced here. Pretty good trade goods. And then we need a temple and then a courthouse. Okay, we can do that. Military reforms. It's only reform the Navy. Do that. Cottage industry. Yeah, piss them off a little bit, but I don't care too much. Additionally, we want to start building shipyards. Wyvern spotted. Do that. Spy network, 25. Okay, we have spy networks on them. Alrighty. Yeah, we have one there. Okay. That. And we want to send a gift here. Cantalism. Yeah, we can embargo warrant. Broke that embargo. There's our Inquisitor. This. Okay. Silver Standard. Who are they allied with? If I was to declare war on them. I think I need it that badly. Area. Demarian Virtue. Okay. Oh, I already have a claim there. Okay, if I was to declare war... What's the problem? I gotcha. The Chancellor's Contest. Demand rigid adherence to protocol. Insist that issues be debated and confirmed, ever warning against rashness. Readdress issues on which consensus has already been reached, then appeal simply to precedent. Allow decision-making processes to reach almost their very end, then choke their final weeks with plausible-sounding concerns about what is legal, what is allowed. Do not fear public reprisal. Outsiders have little access to detail and will blame the statesman who cannot get his law made. Never the nameless obstacle which the statesman encountered. Oh. Now that is fascinating. Now, question is... Yeah, could do that. How much longer left do I have with careful maneuvering? 2 years. And approaching the point... Dame's Head region. Okay, that is a lot of provinces. Is there religious leagues? There is not. Alright. Alright. We now get 20% extra tax, which is very good. If a little bit boring. And now we have another merchant. Transfer there. And we can transfer here. Transfer there as well. Okay. Yeah, he can stay in office until he dies. Additionally, we have claims all over this way. Okay, let's go for Istrilor itself. Moonhaven don't actually want any of these provinces, which is fine. You know what we need? We need... this. And then we can do a few more. These. Okay, blockade. Do that. Overshadow the parents. Okay, so hypothetically, if I was to take these provinces, it would be pretty rough. Growth of the printing industry. Alright. Cool. Improve environments. technically we should do free trade, and we might end up having to switch back, but for right now we want the domestic. Sure. And then we can do that. Okay, who else am I at war with? Sugamber. How interesting. And then I need to... Okay, this is another province with one of our old constituent cities. And then that. Alright, and that should spread very quickly to all the other cities. Alright, they can give me cash and war reps and religion. Our job right now is largely just to really prevent the Empire from passing too many more reforms. Ooh, Akasik is a thing. I think that's their formable. Yeah, I believe it is. Yeah. Cool. Motivate, merchants, draft. Alright. So for Sugamber, I obviously not force religion on them because they're already the other religion. Okay, so... what can we do now that we have unlimited money this early in the game? Suppose start building. Alright, what are we looking like in Ascan? Orcs have been contained, question mark? Severdeer is obviously huge. They'll be forming in Good of Valor whenever they get done with their reforms. Dog Eater is a mess. And our... yeah, this whole area is just an absolute mess. S still looks pretty good, though. Suppose I need to upgrade this again eventually. Let me just blockade them for a while. Okay, annexing them would make everyone very upset. I can go ahead and fabricate a claim on Pinnac. Don't need anything more than that. Don't need that. Don't need to continue to curry favors. Let's actually go ahead and start. I take one ship from how is the institutional spreading going? I didn't actually realize we have the birthplace of the Renaissance in our nation. Yeah, it's pretty good. That developed in Esmeria, which honestly we probably should have been the one to get that. Just thematically, since we are kind of like we're like a modern functioning state, pretty much. I think is the whole thing, but getting to that. Pashaine. Do I need these provinces anytime soon? No. I can get those later. Printing press, take that, take that. Do large cast iron cannons. Alright, good. That has been culture converted. This one can be converted as well. Sure, give that to Dame's Crown. Dusty Host. Yeah, he can keep ruling until he dies. Well, that looks like it's beginning to look like that is going to take a very long time. If I wasn't recording right now, I'd probably pull up my phone and watch YouTube while I wait for this war to be over. Badly are these places? It's not looking great for them. University of East Bright. Sure, we can get over 50. Why not? Yeah, I get that. Okay, so what is combat with now? I want to start working on 2 armies. 29. Honestly... Seven. You can take that. Who are they fighting? No. We can get... Yeah, let me get that. I'll get a few more. Worst limit with those. Yeah, devastation is beginning to grow. Okay. Done with. What religion are they? Regent Court. Okay, we're going to take that, and obviously we are going to hit the Chancellor's word. Take these ships. Tech trade in Anbennar. Okay. And now I want to put even more people on improve. It's gonna hurt our prestige a lot. Okay, yeah, that's fine. The citizen is educated, for he hears 100 tales a day of distant climes, his city providing him with a world-spanning multitude. The citizen is pious, for he recognizes the bond of belief, does much to unify the fractious metropole. The citizen bathes twice a day, for he has stood in the marketplace in the middle of summer. Yeah. Where is... Oh yeah, actually take it. It only cost, 2,000 ducats, which is hardly anything. Okay. I feel really powerful right now. I'm not sure if you can tell, but... Oh boy. Let's do a magnificent feast. Okay, what do we have here? Iron. Yeah, let's do that. Yep, shoot, if he's still alive, then keep him. And these guys need... economy, action, send gift. Do that. Pop gold arrow. And then send a gift. Alright. Do more rent, and then bar. Okay, so what do I need for Overshadow the Parents? This also needs Ramparts. First, I should probably pay that one off. Yeah, we can do 5 here. Oh. What do I do? Let's develop the provinces. Okay, we are now right at it. Let me take 4 from here. Get rid of 4 of these guys. Reinforce them with a bit more experienced soldiers. Okay, so this needs a rampart. We're gonna need to bail Gillette out at some point. Alright, let's just do... Never mind. Never mind. How much is this? 2K? Yeah, I'll get that in a second. Alright. And then I can see a little bit more land. Yeah, I can get rid of that so we can see some land from them. Everyone over in Gone has been converted already. And we can get a fort there. No, we want religious leagues. Oh, he finally died. Let's do one. Jesus Christ. Sure, why not? You know what? Blue Heart needs a world trade. I almost said a world trade center. Yeah. World Trade Center, I guess. I think I could win this. The big problem would be wax. I need to dissolve this alliance because I'm going to go annex them eventually. Let's do 10, 10. Just have that get done. What about a flagship? I could go a flagship. Needs to be a heavy ship, trade power. Yeah, seems good to me. gonna bid over, that's fine though. 9 neglect. Beauty celebration. $80,000 men in the bank. Man, good. Alright. That eventually be our ramparts. General gonna have death to the tyrants. Alright. Institution spread. Oh, there's Good of War, like I said. They'd form them. Alright, so what I want from them is literally just these provinces. Does not matter if I bombard these provinces. Alright. Okay, so for Lex, I forget Accessoran, good. are about to have a not very good time. Does the West really want to stay in this war? Should be able to bully them into getting out of the war now. These guys can actually just sit in port for a little while. Okay, I can take this now as well, and I can get outriders. No, I wanted to retreat. Nope, I do not want that stack to get wiped. Alright, so for Lex, to go this way, deal with that. Okay, take this, take this. Now we want to go admin. Okay. Outriders. This way. Okay. Time to bring out Old Reliable. I just need to get Wex out of the war. If I do that, I can win this without too many issues, I think. I mean, Gawed's a major issue, but besides that, okay, yeah, you know, we're not going to bother with Busalar for a little bit. Dragonfire Balgarites. We want that siege ability. Alright. Lex. Get out of the war. We'll take that Republican tradition. Immoral prices. Yeah, I'll pay it myself. Okay, I should have probably built the spine earlier. Suppose it will do. Let's do better structure. These guys can go away. Guys can head over to Menibor. Okay. At least one province in the Demarian Dales needs a regimental camp as well. I don't really care too much about that. Yeah, give me the few extra admin points. And then we have these buildings, like that. There we are. It also should not have given us a particularly large amount of aggressive expansion. How old is she? Let's go the bureaucrat. Okay, not getting reelected. Overshadow the parents. Demaria's story is one of slow, managed decline, whereas Vern's is a doomed blaze of glory, quickly petering out. We take both examples well. Dynamism without recklessness, steadiness without complacency, a virtue without the vice. Alright. Rank for wed. Yeah, we're improving relations. Alright, what can we take next? New men. Consolidated power. Let's do devolution of power. That seems pretty good. Economy reduction is always pretty nice. Ceremony disrupted. Alright, how many more men can I get in the field? Okay, good. We want outriders. Yeah, we do actually get that. These guys need to go protect trade. Protect trade and Anbennar cost. That's better. I'm gonna do a fort here. Actually, no, we want it here instead. You know, probably gonna get rid of the cavalry. Combat width is 29. Go up to 30. That upgraded. It's getting upgraded as well. It needs to get upgraded too. Okay. We nearly have total control over the state. Which is excellent. Alright. Oh, Catarata's won. Alright, what do I need to do next? Beat Moonhaven. Okay, I can, however, grant it. Where is the button? Spy network. Ooh, the Umbral Covenant's a thing. Ooh, that's a big Umbral Covenant. Oh, that's actually very interesting. They'll be getting a big world conquest mission tree. I should probably join... I forgot to join a league. I didn't even realize the leagues were enabled. And we can do this one. Oh, where's the religious leagues? Who is the Emperor? Okay, I want to... I'm building a spy network there. That's the guarantee. Yeah. Yep, expected. Also revoke that guarantee. Alright. Who all can I ally that is big? Neither Bled nor Laurent. Well, Laurent is my enemy, and Bled is, you know, also sort of an enemy. And I can go ahead and upgrade that. Let's do another bureaucratic candidate. Do that. Okay. Why? Do you want to join one of the leagues? Go ahead. Sugamber. I will cast my vote for Khaled. Okay, let's put a spy network. How long is our truce? 76, 3 more years. Go ahead and take the last of the land. I can... Economy action... Cannot embargo them. Still known I can convert to Pashaine. Man. Send an expedition to Hellas. Since it has become increasingly clear that the Magical Guild organization is a threat to democratic values, we have been on the lookout in ways in which we might even the scale between our forces and those which wield magic. We are not fools. Black powder alone is a lever to some degree, but the greatest of mages can still take 1,000 troops with them. Supported by conventional ground forces, they can even the scales, then tip them. Rumors out of Hellas speak of a form of counter-magic employed by the anti-magocratic polities on the continent, techniques that has filtered back to Canor through our traders as Karachi. If we could teach our militaries to deploy these techniques, we would have a vital weapon to deploy against would-be Witch Kings. Alright. Buildings, buildings, buildings. crowd. Our expedition to Hellas reported several new developments in their search for anti-magic technique known as Karachi. Firstly, it is not a technique at all, but a substance generally known in Canor as Black Dame's Tear, capable of negating magic on touch, apparently with absolute efficacy. Secondly, it appears to be the near-exclusive preserve of the command, whose deployment of the stuff is a profound taboo on the continent, often dominated by powerful mages. Needless to say, we must not endorse the tyrannical ideals of the hobgoblin just to get our hands on the substance. And the report lays out several possibilities for acquiring information on this taboo resource without doing so. To seek information in the markets. They're done with Karachi, one and only. You really do remind me of them. The Oni had been saying things like that for the entire meeting, drawing out the pauses, enjoying the discomfort her towering stature inflicted on the rifled attaches who were nominally standing guard. Alva couldn't blame them. He somewhat suspected that if the Oni launched herself at the group, she'd probably take out 2 or 3 before anyone got a shot off. Their fear was nothing beside her greed. However, a child of the guilds knew how strong an impetus that was. Really, he said, trying very hard to sound disinterested. He was being tested, he knew. The Oni would give them information they wanted eventually, lead them where they could find or steal or hell engineer Black Dame's Tear, and she'd charge only a moderately exorbitant rate. He could tell she just wanted to kick the wheels a little, check they were sturdy. Even a continent from home, haggling was haggling. So certainly, like they were, she didn't need to say who, the hobgoblins, the only others to be so aggressively curious about the stuff. We're all certain. To a degree. Alva smiled. Anywhere else in Anbennar, he would probably still be a peasant. This monster would get no doubt from him. He matched her gaze. Pashaine is a very long ways from Shinkorchi. Hardly your problem. Yoni was silent for a long moment. We'll see. So we discover Shinkorchi, which... Oh. Command is dead. Let's build... Yeah, it seems like enough heavies. Okay. Back. Diplomatic reputation. Truce is almost done with. Busalar hates me and I hate Busalar. We'll keep them. There we are. Oh, Tikundarak. Well. We can declare for Port Munis, probably. Yeah, Port Munis. Port Munis, Sugamber, Farian. So who else am I fighting? Usalar. Take this, which means I can get the volley infantry. Alright, so Gamber, I really appreciate you sieging down that. These guys can repair for just a little bit. Monthly autonomy change is always good. Okay, they can just get repaired. When they get fully repaired, people are going to have a very bad time dealing with that. No. Sure, I can do that. Folk joining rebellions, that's good. Alright, Busalar. What do I even want to do with you? Let's just take some cash. Get ready to die. Back here, you rat bastards. Alright, you know what? I will look that way. Access, military access. Alright, and I can do that. And then I think inheritance seems pretty good. Suppose that's like taking tabs on who all is inheriting things, which is quite difficult. Very useful, but for older governments that had a lot less sort of administrative capabilities, it was rough. Oh, that's good. Okay, the Danish temple will get out with a force religion. So, Arboron, do not want out. Yep, that's what I'm waiting for. Yeah, get the Rebellion Society. Yeah, we'll keep them. Wasdam. Who else am I at war with? Just Magdalier? Alright. What did they do to this province? Okay, we need another debate. Take that event. Alright, and then we want to use the Chancellor's word. Alright. Pentecost. Those two. Okay. I can do that. Oh. Moonhaven is no longer a member of the Empire. Really wish I could invite them to the, what's it called? Invite them into the, Fortnite League. Oh, I get free policies. Yep, take that, take that. Yeah, we're transferring there. Transfer here. Grant it, more merrier. So what do I need to build in center trade level 2? Courthouse marketplace. Okay, so I need dock. Shit. Get rid of the barracks and replace it with shipyard. Get rid of this barracks and replace it with a dock. Okay. And what gets produced here? A bunch of interesting goods. So you know what that means? Additionally, one of these is the largest. This one. Alright, the Ball of All Luna, the proliferation of dance halls, tavernas, cafes, and so-called reading halls reflects in this period of Pashaine a veritable explosion of bourgeoisie wealth, enabled by a rapid drop in production expenses enabled by guild corporatism. It is little exaggeration to say that the emergent Pashaine was the first culture of leisure, and this booming consumer spending of course fed back into the booming economy on the Luna. This isn't necessary, said Oro, his hands taken firmly. His heart thudded against his chest. He couldn't see anyone looking, but it only took a glance. "They'll think it's a lark," replied Casmiel, his posture perfect. He looked like the little figures out of etiquette books, limbs always bending at perfect right angles when they knelt, always a perfect third taller than their women, at worst a skit. "I don't want to be a joke," Oro said. All those around them, the lights of Luna, were hovering. It was the conceit of the evening. Their barges would sail downriver in an Esmeri style from first dance to last, but the beauty would be understated, not garish. These mage-lifted lanterns were just the thing, glowing hazy in the night, blinding them all to everything but the barge. "Does it feel like a joke?" Casmiel asked, and Oro found himself reluctantly smiling. It took all the certainty he had to rest his hand on Casmiel's shoulder. Casmiel was not the perfect third taller than him, but Oro found that this did not matter. In a few hours, this ball would end. There would be 50 more this season, all leading up to the great event in Port Munis, wherein he and Kazel were hardly important enough to attend. Yet amongst all this leisure could grouse about two young boys who kept a room together. This was Casmiel's argument. Casmiel, who was always so bloody sure prosperity made people kind, he said, made everyone a guildsman to everyone else. "Reassure me again," Oro said, but there was a sly smile on his face now. He liked to hear Casmiel argue, to declaim at the world. He liked it back in the Chancellery, too, when Casmiel was just first conceiving of his grand scheme of things. Casmiel muttered to him as they danced, of a Pashaine that towered above the world, where temple morality gave way to guild morality, to material concerns. In such a society, Casmiel knew they would be free. A new kind of life. Interesting. Alright. Sweet Mother of God, that is a chief advisor. Oh yeah, we should probably accept Moon Elves. Pashaine too. Anyone can be Pashaine. You know what? No. No, I shouldn't do that. Nah. Pashaine is such a beautiful nation. Both, physically and, color-wise and morally, I guess. It's a very nice place. Alright. Are they a great power? Yeah, they are. Okay. More conscription camps. Dock shipyard. Dock shipyard. Dock shipyard. Dock shipyard. Alright. And we'll do one here too, just for funsies. mages, Merchester. Alright. Lex will never give us any, what's it called? Upkeep. He'll never give us access, is what I was thinking. So we should get access to Pashaine Fleet Doctrine. Alright. Admin Tech. Doing all of our culture conversions. Is Vern still around? Yes, it migrated. That's beautiful. Alright, not just the river. Ours is by tradition a river culture, however ardently the ships of Napes Bay may prowl the Luna Delta. The demands of trade and of sovereign self-reliance now require, however, that we flow powerfully and inexorably into the sea. While the possession of Napes Bay has prevented our shunt out from the currents of the Dameshead, our recent acquisitions along the eastern coast have prompted a reassessment of our presence at sea. Up to now, we have remained relatively flexible in our doctrine, but the size of our navy ultimately required to properly police our new sea lanes will need a clear doctrinal focus if it is to thrive. Two broad factions have formed within our fledgling admiralty, one which seeks to make use of the highly educated officer corps class, rolling out of Pashaine's excellent centers of higher learning, the second which hopes to embrace a similar strategy of audacity to the ramming fleets of Vern, relying on the solidarity of our crewing guilds. Strike them quick, strike them hard. Alright. Yep, we will take that. Alright, we can now take racial tolerance. Military principle, maybe later. Right now, we're a pretty cool nation. Now we'll do consolidation of power. Suspect we will be able to collect some moon elves. Do that. Okay. Oh no, our general died. Okay, who are we fighting? Merchester. Let's do that. And get off that fort when we siege it. Excellent. The truth will set you free. Alright. Obviously, we want to go with this. Alright, come on. And all of these over to them. These over to them. You know what? It's not going off. Let me just get out of it. You're welcome, by the way, Farion. I need to look up how to trigger the Night League. Because this is taking way, way too long. Okay, what if you hypothetically I need 5 more heavies. Alright, you know, that is where I'm going to end this episode. I want to thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and have a good day.